Hi, in this video, I'm going to talk about the coronavirus data. I'm going to talk about some countries which were able to contain the virus from spreading even further. And I'm also going to talk on what policies they implemented, like lockdown, or is there any other policy that helped contain the coronavirus cases. I'm also going to talk about some countries where the cases were reported a little late, but it's exponentially growing. And even though like some of the measures are implemented, why they need to be even more strict and stringent with the policies. So let's start with the first graph. The first graph on you're seeing is basically from China state Hubei. Hubei is where the coronavirus originated. Basically, there's a city called Wuhan where most of the coronavirus cases were within Hubei. So, if you see the coronavirus trend for this country, China, and the state Hubei, basically the first instance of case was reported on 22nd, and there may be cases reported before as well, but that's when officially the John Hopkins University started capturing the data. And you can see like basically the trend was linearly increasing from almost like less than 100 cases. It rapidly went to 30,000, and then it went to a peak of 50,000 and even more in Hubei province, right? And then over the time it started declining and it's kind of stabilized. So one of the key policy they implemented is on 23rd Jan. Basically, they completely locked down Wuhan, which is one of Hubei province, and also a few other province within Hubei. So that lockdown was one part of it, but subsequently again on 2nd Feb they did a 7-day lockdown in which only one person per household was allowed to exit the house once each 2 days to buy bare minimum essentials, groceries and everything. So that was the case, and that was kind of 2nd Feb. And even then the trend was increasing. The reason is like people who have already contradicted is this virus might be showing symptoms, and there were like huge numbers reported. But that over the time, after the 2 weeks or 3 weeks, when they were in the lockdown, they were confined, they are self-isolated. Basically, if you see it hit a peak and then it started rapidly declining. And only on 13th March, China basically relaxed some of the lockdown, and they were people were allowed to kind of move out, and still not in huge number, but it's in some places the lockdown was relaxed. This is from China, where lockdown was the key contribution to lockdown, self-isolating, keeping people confined to their home. All the freeways and exits were completely blocked. So this was one of the things that brought down the number of cases. Now, if you see on the country South Korea, right? South Korea, if you see the graph below, now what you can see is there was the same trend. The numbers were less than 100, and suddenly it went up to 7,000, and it has been stabilized in 7,000. Yesterday was the kind of, there was little drops, there was high, and yesterday there was a significant drop in South Korea. But South Korea did not implement any official lockdown. Maybe internally they did it, but they didn't implement any official lockdown. But what they did was basically South Korea tested anyone who has been in contact with a confirmed case. And how did they get that contact with confirmed cases? They use credit card activity to see like when that particular confirmed case has swiped the credit card, who are the other people before and after who have swiped the credit card. They used mobile phone tracking on where all the confirmed case user has been and who are all there in the proximity. They use camera surveillance based on personal interview from the confirmed cases, and went back, and they kind of did camera tracking. What they also did is they contacted each and every person who are in the close proximity and contact with the confirmed case, and made them come and test. In fact, like they conducted around like 250,000 coronavirus tests for all the people who are like probable contact with the coronavirus confirmed case. And then and they did completely for free, right? So this kind of reduced the number of confirmed cases, and it's kind of flattening, but based on the policy they implemented, it should like come down. Let's keep a watch. The data is as current as 316, that is yesterday, and let's see like how the trend goes on. Now, coming to the two country where activity is pretty high, and literally like thousands of cases have been adding on a daily basis. One is Italy. So Italy, if you see like the case started around 23rd Feb, where it was pretty low number, and today it's more than around like 27,000 or 28,000 numbers. There's been a rapid increase with 1,000 cases per day. All right, and literally Italy has kind of last week they announced a lockdown, and hopefully if we see the China's graph, if we follow the same thing, maybe by next week it should start stabilizing, and the number of cases should come down over time. Right, that's Italy. And similarly, if you see USA, right, the United States, it's the same case. The numbers were pretty low. It was mostly on a few cities like Washington, California, and in fact New York started late, but New York is one of the top New York has one of the top confirmed cases at this time when I'm making the video. And you can see like they have been rapidly adding like 1,000 cases per day, and knowing like New York and is one of the populous city. Now again, USA has implemented a lockdown. There are a lot of work from home policy, but still there are a lot of people who have to go out for their job, which where work from home is not there. But over the time, I feel like even stringent policy should be put in place, like China. Maybe officers have to be some of the officers where possible have to make work from home mandatory. We already saw news like the bars are closed, the gym is closed, so those should reduce, and maybe 2 weeks from now we should see the numbers plateau or start declining hopefully. So these are like four graphs I have created. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the Python code and show you how to create these graphs, and see like which are the top country, and we will also see the pattern and trend for a few other countries. Now let's go to the Python code of the graph that I have shown, and I will show like few other graphs. So what I have done is I have already created a data frame in this format. So what we did is we took the raw data from John Hopkins University. It was a time series data, and it had like three different files: confirmed, death, and recovered, and I have combined it into a single data frame. I have done it in my previous video, and if you want to know how I came till this step, you can click on the link in the top and then watch that video where I am showing it to you. But here I'm going to take the data and do more analysis with it. So basically, if you see the data set, you have the state. Not every country is captured at the state level. Like China is captured at state level, US has both state level and country level, but not every country is done that. So you have state, it can be null. You have country, you have the latitude and longitude, and you have the date column. The date column is a time series value for it. So for each of the country, you will have data from 22nd Jan till 16th of March today, and the data is like, kind of, it's more updated on a daily basis, and you can see more and more data coming in. And then you have the number of confirmed cases, the death cases, and then the recovered cases. So that is this data, and let me run the same thing that I ran it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to query specifically for country US and state Washington. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the data frame, I am using the query function, I'm telling country equal to US and state equal to Washington. And you can see basically you get all the Washington state data. You can see like most of the values are zero, because the virus was started reporting only on 10th of March. And after 10th of March, you can see basically it was 267, and today it is 1076. I think you can see the 17 data as well, because the latest data has started flowing in. So basically today is 1076. That's a rapid increase, almost like 100 to 200 cases reported on a daily basis. So yesterday it was 643 to 904, and it's almost like 250 additional cases in Washington. And similarly, if you see China and Hubei, that's the graph we saw in China and Hubei. Basically you can see The cases were around like 67,000. It was rapidly increasing. This was one of the first state that started reporting in China. Wuhan was the epicenter of it, and you can see that at last it was around like cases were 677 6,779 double nine. So that was the cases, and this is the death and this is the recovered. That's a pretty high number of recovery as well, right? So what I'm going to do is this is a time series running data. So I'm going to add one more column which is going to show me the active count. So active count is nothing but the confirmed cases minus death minus recovered. So anything that is left over is basically the active cases. So that's what I'm doing over here. I am adding a column called active in the combined data frame, and I am subtracting it with confirmed minus death and recovered case. So that's what I'm doing. And now if I run it, I will have the active cases as well. So you can see basically the active cases was 50,049, and it drastically reduced. And specifically in Hubei, it stands at 8,600 today, from 67799 cases which were confirmed. Now it's 8,685 that are active. Right now, I want to check the latest value for each and every country. Basically, I want to take the current date, that is 17th, and then check each and every value. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a max data frame. I am taking the combined data frame. I am telling that where the pick the date, max of date, where the date is max. So basically it's going to take the combined of date column, pick the max of date, and then assign it and give me only those values. So it will have for all the country the max date. So today 17th, every country on 17th it will have. And based on that, what I'm doing is I'm trying to find the number of active, the maximum number of active cases in the top 10 countries. So that's what this does. Let me run this and let me show it to you. So it will kind of take from the max data frame, to take the country and active column, and it's going to sort by active, and it's going to tell give me the give me in a descending order, and I'm picking the first 10 countries. So if you see today, Italy has the highest active cases. It has 26,000. Then Spain, then Iran, Germany, China, and then US is somewhere in Switzerland, and US is the last at 10th number, right? So this is the topmost country with the most active cases that you can see. Now what I'm going to do is basically I also want to see the based on the confirmed cases, which were the top countries. So if you can see here, China was confirmed. China was the top in the confirmed case, but now it has come little bottom in the table with the active cases. Italy is still second, and it's still in the top in the active cases. So this is basically the total confirmed case, top 10 countries by the total confirmed case over here. Right now, what I'm going to do is I am basically going to specifically create plots for each and every country, and that's what you saw in the first plot. I have given this is from the Wikipedia on the lockdown in China. You can read it, or you can go to Wikipedia and check. But what I'm doing is I'm picking the date, country, and state active, and I'm querying where country equal to China and state is equal to Hubei, right? And then I am basically plotting a date in the x-axis, and in the y-axis I'm plotting the active cases. I'm telling it's a bar chart. I'm just given a title to just tell which country and state it is. So this is how the graph looks like, and this is the graph which I introduced to you in the beginning of this particular video. And this shows the trend where it was increasing and it suddenly started decreasing, right? And specifically that was in a particular state in China. If you want to see overall China level, because other states were also impacted in China, so this overall China level, and the trend is almost similar, because once Hubei was in control, which was predominantly 70% of the cases in China, it started started declining, and there were like few other lockdown that was implemented. Now second is South Korea, and as I said, South Korea did not lock down. Basically South Korea tested anyone who had been in contact with the with the confirmed case through credit card activities, surveillance camera footage, mobile phone tracking. And this is information from Forbes, and you can check it out, Forbes. So this is basically South Korea, where you can see the cases were pretty high, and now it's kind of saturating, and hope it's going to. And you can see basically in the last graph I showed you, only 16 data was there. Now it's 17 data is also there, and you can see like basically there's one more drop on 17th. It's slowly coming down. Right. And similarly, this is for Italy. and Italy also, like, it's constantly climbing. Basically, it started pretty late. It's constantly climbing, the lockdown in place, and seeing the trend in other countries. Maybe by next week or a week after that, you can see it coming down. And similar is Iran. Iran, basically, again, Iran was going up. It kind of, as now there was a small drop, and now again it is increasing. So that is Iran. And specifically coming to US states, Washington and New York are pretty high, and this is how Washington looks like. The scenario is a little bad, but with more control, work from home, and maybe even some lockdown internally. They must announce some strict lockdown. Only bare essential should be operating. They can bring it down. And if you see, the cases really jumped in the last 2 days. It was like 200 plus on 10th, and today it's almost like near 1,000 cases as we are speaking today, 17th, right? And similarly, New York. We see New York, that was the same case. It was around 200 odd, and now if you see, it has gone past 1,700 cases. If you see, it's more than 1,600 to 1,700, and there has been a huge jump. From 16th, it has been like 1,000 to almost 1,600. There are 600 cases that has come only today in basically New York. Right now, if you see the overall US, that was at a state level. Now overall US, you can see the same thing. The cases are pretty high. The cases have jumped, and it's been like growing. As it's almost like close to 6,000 cases now, and you can see like it's constantly jumping up. That is about US. And if you see India over here, the cases are pretty low in India, and you can see like on today it has added close to 20 cases, and basically it is low for the population country, but there has been strict lockdown. No airlines are operating out of European countries and few other countries. Right, so there has been strict lockdown, and that's about India. So you can just query by India also and see the details how it is. It was 104, and today it's 125. Almost 21 cases were added, and this is basically Arizona, where the cases are low. So it's been like I think it's been around 18 cases in Arizona. So that's about this video. Just quickly wanted to show how some of the policies by government and lockdown is really helping contain the virus. I would say, like, self isolate yourself, be remote if possible, wherever possible. So let's get past this quickly, and hope like we hope the number of cases come down and we are back to normal. Thank you.